this all new video by R&D Garage. I want to welcome all my new subscribers. Thank you guys so much for subscribing, liking, and commenting, and especially sharing all my videos. For all of you that watch my channel and don't subscribe, it's super easy. Just hit that red button down there and you're subscribed and you'll get all my journeys of car stuff. Which sounds weird. Okay. Anyway, so those of you who follow my Instagram know that I just came back from a wonderful trip from LA. It was actually my first time driving to LA by myself, which is kind of mind-blowing, but anyway, had a fabulous time with my actor friends, my car friends. It was some serious good times. And I took my big green beast, who was very popular down there. I had no idea LA had so many FJs, and trust me, I loved seeing all of them. So, on the way home, I was like, you know what I should have done before I left was actually made a video for you guys doing a checklist of everything you should check on your car before you take a heavy-duty trip like this. Now, a heavy-duty trip for me is anything more than like 6 or 7 hours. And the trip down to LA took about six and a half. Wink, wink. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and walk you through what I did to prepare the FJ. Okay, so I like to start with the bulb section of your car. Now, obviously this is easiest with 2 people, but if you're only by yourself, go ahead and set up your phone to record, first from the front and then from the rear. Modern problems create modern solutions. So anyway, what I'm talking about with the bulb section is basically high beams, low beams, regular running lights. We've got turn signals. If you've got fog lights, go ahead and check those. Rears, reverse lights, obviously the signals from behind as well. Hazards, make sure all 4 hazards work. So basically anything with a bulb, go ahead and check. Okay, so step number 2, and if you don't have one of these, I highly recommend them. Dash cams. I have one in the front of the FJ and I have one in the rear. Now what you're going to do with that is basically pull out the memory card, reformat it, make sure it's completely empty and that it works, stick it back in the camera, maybe go for a little bit of a drive again just to check and make sure it works, and you're good to go. Now you think, why would you have a couple of dash cams? Well, you're going to a strange area. What if, God forbid, you get into an accident, someone hits you from behind while you're parked? Anything can happen, and the more details and more footage you have of that possible problem to occur, the easier it'll be down the line. Okay, third step, window glass. Obviously, you want to make sure everything is clean and visible. Now, the windshield on the FJ, I've been talking about replacing it ever since I got the thing. It is hammered and disgusting, but we can still kind of see through it, so it's okay. But you'll notice this. This was okay, I probably needed my step stool, but you see where we mounted the camera right there. So unfortunately, it's at a point where the windshield wipers don't actually wipe. And so it's especially clear that we need to go ahead and re-wipe that down before you go on a trip, just so the camera has, the perfect lens and it's clean and you can see clearly. So anyway, go ahead and wash all your window glass inside and out. Long story short. So a couple things on this one. Number 1, especially with the old FJ here, I don't particularly wash my car before I start out, just because it's going to get even more gross on the road. Like anybody who's driven on I-5 knows how dusty, there's bugs, cars doing their windshield wipers on you. There's no point. If you want it to look good when you get to your destination, go to a car wash, get her done. But this, whatever, it's the FJ again. Okay, so another thing about that is, okay, and this one is also especially hard for me. I'm not like a total hoarder when it comes to my car, but I always usually leave like my boxing gloves or a hoodie in there at least, because, I always get cold. But before you go on your trip, make sure to clear your car out of everything that you don't need. If you usually store stuff in there, like let's say you forgot like your tennis racket or, whatever you have in there, especially if you're going to a big city, there's always going to be like, what do they call it? Like grab and goes, or what do you call it?
Smash and grab.
Smash and grab, sorry, I just couldn't think of it for a second, thank you. So you don't want to be a mark. And another thing, actually, while we're on the subject, especially if you're going anywhere where they valet your car once you get to the hotel, if you're picking your car up and going to meet like a friend at a restaurant or something and you're definitely coming back, it's okay. Take the valet ticket off the windshield, stick it in your cup holder or in your glove compartment. That way you don't become an easy mark. You know, it's like, ooh, tourists, let's go ahead and see what they have to offer. So just a thought. Okay guys, so here's another thing just to kind of think about before you go. If you're planning on taking your heavily modified truck or car, you may want to check the local forums to see how cops feel about that kind of thing. Maybe it's an area where you will get a ticket for no mud flaps or being slightly higher than normal, or you know, something like that. Now, I was lucky because in Los Angeles, the car culture is just insane. Modified cars are no stranger to LA, and cops barely looked at me the entire time. Now, maybe you're going to somewhere out of the way and you may not be as lucky. So again, think about how you could maybe prevent some of the tickets you may get. Like if you do actually have that front plate, put it on. Now, I'm not asking you to take off your tint or, you know, put on different tires, but just be aware that you may come in contact with the local PD. Okay guys, let's talk tires. So obviously you gotta make sure all four are still ready to go. Like they have their tread, you know, they still look good. You wanna check air pressure in all four, make sure they match. Also check the spare. If you have a spare, check it, you know, make sure it's still good, make sure it doesn't have any punctures in it. If you don't have a spare, get one, because you don't want to wait for AAA to rescue you after like 4 or 5 hours sitting on whatever highway you're on. Now, on the truck like this, it's super easy to tell that the tires are in good shape. So trucks, yeah, they're simple. Now, if I were taking Blueberry, it'd be a little harder to tell. And so I'd really have to get in there, maybe jack her up a little bit and make sure her tires are perfect. But yeah, that is literally one of the most important things on your car. You do not want to get a blowout somewhere in the middle of, you know, yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about. Okay, as a rule of thumb, whatever car you're taking, it's best to do all the preparations or major maintenance at least 2 weeks before you leave. You don't want to do it just a couple days before, because you never know, you'll end up with a leak, you'll end up with this, you'll end up with that. It's just not a good idea. So if you do everything a couple weeks beforehand, your car has enough time to settle in, and anything that happens, you'll be able to catch on time. So now with that being said, we are going to, okay, oh come on, we're playing this game again. I'll go to the side. Okay guys, so now that the hood is up, we're gonna go ahead and check the fluids and belts. Well, trust me, this has already been checked before I left. This is a hint for you guys. So you wanna check obviously the oil, tranny fluid, power steering, everything. You wanna check the belts, make sure they're still, you know, running right. And just kind of give it, I mean, this is obviously filthy, but you kind of want to clean it down and just make sure there are no leaks and everything is full to the brim and ready to go. And you guys are going to laugh, but seriously, make sure you fill the windshield wiper fluid all the way to the brim, and you've got maybe brand new windshield wipers on. Because if you're going, especially in the desert, no matter where you're going, it's spring. So there are two things you can be sure of: allergies and bugs. Now, allergies obviously don't come into play here, but pollen, lots and lots of pollen. So you're traveling, bugs the size of me are hitting your windshield. You want strong enough windshield wipers and a lot of fluid to make sure that they aren't obstructing your view. And you can also piss off people by, oh wait, no, we won't get into that. A couple more things I almost forgot about: the cabin filter and the air filter. Now, I know I've already taken a video for you guys showing you how to check and change them, but it's always a good idea to, you know, check and make sure they're still fine before you go on that trip. Well, you know what? You don't want to forget about those brakes. So what I need you guys to do is get under your car, get under your truck, and make sure that your pads and rotors are still good. You want your pads still to be thick. You want your rotors not to be hammered. Basically, brakes are kind of an important part of driving, and you don't want them to fail. So yeah, go check your brakes. Okay, now that we've talked about the outside of the car and the engine, let's talk about what you might need inside. So if you're going on a long road trip, let's say you're going to do some windy country roads, you're going to be on a remote interstate, wherever you're going, it's always good to pack maybe a little bag of tools, maybe an air compressor, something that you know your car well enough that you may need. Nothing to be scared about. Okay, also, let's say again, unfortunately, the worst happens and you're broken down on the side of the road. Now, where you're going, maybe it's super hot, maybe it's super cold and rainy. Whatever it is, pack extra clothes, pack an umbrella, anything. I mean, I'm not saying like you should pack enough that you need a trailer behind your car, but just, certain things. Like me, I'm always freaking cold. It doesn't matter what the season is. My hands are always just like, hand warmers, where are the hand warmers? So if you're anything like me, pack a thick jacket, pack hand warmers. Let's say you get stranded for a little bit, snacks. Pack snacks. Like me, I love having that little granola bar I stole from Crafty. It comes in handy. So again, just kind of be aware of your surroundings, pack a lot of water, you want to stay hydrated, maybe like fruit juice or something, just anything to kind of get your sugar level a little bit higher, especially when you're dealing with an emergency. Yeah, we're just gonna go with that. Okay, so now I just went to the city, and so I didn't need a whole lot of equipment, and I'm not gonna really get into the specifics if you're going on like a four-wheeling journey. But okay, I'm just gonna mention these couple things. If you are gonna hit up even like a fire road, just for fun, let's say you went to the city, but your friends are all, hey, let's just go wheeling for the day. Okay, first of all, never go wheeling by yourself. I'm just gonna get that out there. Second, if you know this is what you're going to do, and even if you didn't know this was going to happen, this is also good to take with you. A recovery strap and kind of an off-road jack. Just kind of two things that may save you a lot of heartache and a lot of like, shucks, I should have brought that. Okay, I was originally going to end it there, but then I was like, wait, what if you're taking your pet? So obviously, he looks super excited. I literally just woke him up. But if you're taking your pet, obviously you're gonna need water bowls, puppy chow or dog food. You're gonna need poop bags. You go through a lot of those, huh? And just basically maybe little blankets, a little bed, anything to make your pup feel special and happy. It's so good to see this guy. I missed him. So anyway, you guys, I'm gonna put him down. He's like, great, wake me up for a 3-minute spot. So anyway, you guys, thanks again for watching this R&D Garage video. I hope this helps on whatever road trip you go this summer. And I just want to thank you guys so much again for subscribing. Hit that red button if you haven't already, because we've got a lot more cool events happening. Next week, we're going to a huge Vault Auto Club, Cars and Coffee. We're going to take Grandpa Truck. And after that, I believe it's the Novato Cars and Coffee again. And I have a promise from a gentleman who gave me a ride in the 1955 Benz that he's bringing something a little bit more reliable next time, and he's going to give me another ride. I have no idea what it is, but I'm super excited. So thanks you guys for joining me, and I'll catch you next time.